Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to address the high-level segment of the 25th session of the Human Rights Council. History haunts us every time that we gather here as a community of nations. This is a milieu where our political differences should diminish in the light of human rights and humanitarian issues. This is where we should strive to focus on our common values as humanity, a humanity with humanitarian consciousness. History teaches us that no society and no nation have progressed or prospered without ensuring respect for and protection of human rights. As Kofi Annan has rightly pointed out, we will not enjoy our security without development. We will not enjoy development without security, and we will not enjoy either without respect for human rights. As we speak, the continued systematic gross violation of human rights in Syria show once more what can happen when the international community remains indecisive. Sadly, Syria is not the only situation worrying us today. In Ukraine, protesters poured into the streets and occupied the squares, demanding change in the country. We would like to reiterate once again the importance of an inclusive political process based on democratic values, respect for human rights, minorities and the rule of law, which fulfills the democratic aspirations of the entire Ukrainian people. We strongly believe that human rights violations perpetrated in Ukraine should be investigated and that those responsible should be held accountable. We welcome the recent report of the Commission of Inquiry on Human Rights in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. We join the call for full investigation by an international tribunal of the human rights violations carried out in North Korea. There should be no impunity for those who perpetrate violations of human rights. Mr. President, the Human Rights Council and the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights are cornerstones of the international system of the protection of human rights. We envisage the Council as a living instrument through which human rights are promoted and protected. Yet, in a fast-changing world, the Council should adapt to the new realities and challenges. This also means more active engagement in supporting the Council, because the protection and promotion of human rights is a responsibility of us all, not only of the Council. The Human Rights Council deserves our praise and support regarding the successful completion of the first cycle of the Universal Periodic Review. As the second is underway, there is a lot more to be done and achieved with a view to ensuring full respect for human rights worldwide. The outcome of the intergovernmental process on treaty body strengthening, recently concluded in New York, confirms the strong global consensus on the need to ensure the continued relevance and vitality of the human rights treaty bodies. We hope that the final outcome will strengthen in practice the human rights protection that the treaty body system offers, while maintaining the independence of the treaty bodies and of their members. Ladies and gentlemen, for almost half a century, Albania was Eastern Europe's most isolated and repressive state. During those dark ages, religion, private property and free movement were banned. Albanians were denied their basic human rights. Entire generations had their dreams shattered. The country was, literally speaking, cutting off from the world. In the last 2 decades, Albania has transformed itself from a totalitarian regime to a functioning democracy and a market economy. The progress is evident, above all, in the field of human rights. The protection and promotion of human rights has become over the years both a national priority and part of Albania's foreign policy. In further strengthening a long time, well-established, harmonious coexistence between different religions, Albania offers a valuable model of respect for diversity, tolerance and coexistence for the region and beyond. To us, tolerance and hospitality are inherent values that spring from our tradition. It is not a surprise that during World War II, Albania welcomed and protected the Jews that fled to Holocaust, despite being itself under Nazi occupation. It is not a surprise that during the Kosovo War, Albanians welcomed and sheltered their brethren, despite the fact that only 2 years earlier the country was on the brink of total financial collapse. Ladies and gentlemen, the struggle for human rights cannot be achieved without the invaluable role and contribution of civil society in advancing human rights in all aspects, including the rights of women and girls, to ensure their full and equal participation in political and public life. We know much has been achieved, but we are equally aware that much can be done. This is why in December 2009, Albania extended a standing invitation to all special procedures, convinced that their expertise, professionalism and independence can only add to national action and contribute to the implementation of national commitments and international obligations. Albania pledged to continue working with special procedure mandate holders in implementing their recommendations and to further discuss and disseminate the recommendations among relevant authorities, civil society and the general public. We attach great importance to the independence of the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and its role in promoting and protecting human rights throughout the world. We will consider increasing our contribution to this office. Albania has submitted its second national report and will duly cooperate with the Council during the second cycle of the Universal Periodic Review. We will continue to support the UPR process and will ensure an effective follow-up to the UPR recommendations. Mr. President, Albania's candidacy for membership of the Human Rights Council for the period 2015-2017 is only a logical consequence of our road towards building a society based on human rights. We are convinced to have gathered valuable experience over the years, and by reaffirming the universality, indivisibility and interdependence of all human rights, we can bring a national and regional perspective in the Council's deliberations and advocacy of human rights worldwide. While we apply for membership to the Human Rights Council for the period 2015-2017, we are aware that this is not a reward. It is a greater responsibility, a greater challenge that would serve as an impetus to further deepen the democratization process in our country and in our region. Therefore, the Albanian government looks forward and would highly appreciate the valuable support of member states for Albania's candidacy to the Human Rights Council. Thank you.